The Gina and Maddie podcast.
A little lighter on the news front last night. I saw on the Channel 9 news at 6 o'clock, Married at First Sight, more like Lawyers at First Fight. If you remember maths couple Ryan Donnelly and Jackie Burfoot.
Nah.
Well, she was the one with the New Zealand accent and someone said she had creepy eyes or
and
something.
she wore a purple dress on her wedding day and Ryan dropped her on the first day.
That one. Yeah, that one. Well.
Creepy eyes. Can we say that?
No, they said it.
Okay.
And she said, no, I agree, I do. I think it's okay to say that, or maybe I'll take it back. So the drama is still very much alive and playing out in a Sydney courtroom. This week, Ryan fronted Campbelltown local court to apply for an AVO against his former bride, Jackie, claiming she's still posting about him online and causing him serious stress.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. How long has it been since we suffered through Married at First Sight? It's months, isn't it? It's still going on. So they famously ended things in glorious reality TV fashion, with Jackie calling him the red carpet of red flags. She thought she was quite the Shakespeare, and he fired back with, "Be gone with you, you horrible woman." She was pretty,
Wow.
I thought she was pretty mean to him.
And 2 million people tune in every night and watch it.
I
It's
can't
amazing.
believe it. So
But you're one of them.
No, I liked it. So she previously scored her own restraining order against him. She's moved to Tasmania. So she's the one who hooked up with Clint, who was the Richie Von Richie Pants, he was a late groom that arrived, and he split up with his wife, and she hooked up with him, and they've gone on to get engaged. She lives in Tasmania with him. They showed up in a hired, what are those great big square hire
like a
cars?
G-Wagon.
The Mercedes G-Wagons. But it was white. I did see this on the news. It was
So
white.
they're all about the...
And he parked illegally in the car park, the guy who was her security.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know there's car parks and they have like the white lines where you're not meant to park, 'cause
Yeah.
that's where people need to turn around and park
Yeah.
there.
Oh
And then they
my
documented,
God.
it was like a, God, I don't know, because I watched the news, guys. But it was like she did a come with me on my day to court
I
on
saw
Instagram
that.
and TikTok. You know, it's like,
Come on.
and that's a big thing to do on the socials, right? Come with me as I spend a day doing this, right?
Yeah.
But like, come with me on my day to court. Really?
That's ridiculous.
Oh my
It's
God.
ridiculous. So
what are they fighting over? Who gets the teeth whitening ambassadorship? I don't know. What is
well,
it?
apparently they've been digging at each other on socials, and it's causing them distress. And
Just have an agreement. No one talk about anyone. Move on.
I know, move on. It's time to move on. But I think they've got more than their 5 minutes of fame from maths. Keep you posted what happens, or not. It's probably boring.
Gina and Maddie.
Right now, we're joined by one of our faves, Jen Muir from Connected Parenting AU. She is author of Little People, Big Feelings and also the co-host of Beyond the Chaos podcast. Morning, Jen.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Really good. Really good. Wish it was a bit more of a light and fun topic to talk to you about this morning, but I thought it's pretty important to get you on and have a chat to you about how you broach the topic of sort of world events and how you tackle those with the kids, because the news has been dominated, I guess, for the last 2 weeks, but obviously before that as well, has been dominated with bad news and war, and it's being talked about in the playground. And I thought, you know what? I'm getting asked questions that I don't know how to answer. There's only one person I know to talk to, and that's you, Jen.
Oh, well, thank you for trusting me with it. And I totally agree. It feels like it's just one thing after the other at the moment. And kids do talk as much as we try to shield young children from the news. But even our tweens and our teens are going to have questions about what this means for them. And I have one place that I always like to start, and that is by throwing a question back to our kids. So just say your child comes to you and says that, you know, Johnny in the playground said this about a bomb or whatever's happened. The place I always like to start is tell me more. Tell me what you know about this. Or if I need to tell my child something that happened in the news to get ahead of them finding out in the playground from someone else, I might say, something happened today in the news. Have you heard anything about it? So I always want to start with a question because it helps us figure out what kids already know. And sometimes they might have misinformation from the playground, and sometimes it just helps us gauge where they're at so we know where to go into next. And then the next bit of advice is when you do tell them what's happened, it's keep it really simple, stick to the basic facts, and give only what's needed for their age. So sometimes it's as simple for a little person as some people got hurt, the police have stopped them, and the doctors and nurses are working really hard to make everybody better in hospital. So really, really simple, and that's, again, based on where they're at. And for older kids, it's answering their questions really gently and honestly. And then, you know, and this is the hardest bit of all of this, it's actually when they do express fear, when they do express something that's uncomfortable for us, rather than rushing to say, you're safe, you know, everything's fine, it's really sitting for just a second longer than feels comfortable in that with them and saying, I get it if you felt scared, and sometimes I feel like that too, or I can really hear that it's come up today at school and you sound like this has been really hard to hear about, and that makes sense. And it's something that, you know, you guys know from talking to me every 2 weeks that I go on about all the time, but that instinct, that instinct of ours to make something like that better for our kids, of course that makes sense. We don't want them to be in a world where this is happening. But if we can put that aside, the impact that has for our kids is they feel really heard. And actually 90% of what our kids need from us anytime they're struggling with anything is to feel heard, because when they're heard, they're not alone with it. So suddenly we're alongside them in that fear, and it feels so much better.
Oh, I love that, Jen. I love it. Can I ask you, is it okay to say I don't know? Because there was a few questions thrown at me last night, and I was like, oh, mate, I actually don't know the answer to that question. Let me go ask some people who are a lot smarter than I am, and I'll see if I can come back with an answer.
Let me go and Google it.
Yeah, ChatGPT. Oh my God, help me, please! My 6-year-old has way too many questions.
Definitely. I think we can definitely say, I don't have the answer to that. And again, if a child's really sort of got lots of questions and it's at the end of the day, sometimes our instinct might be, I think you're just a little bit wired. And you're allowed to also say, I can hear you've got so many questions and there's so much bubbling away. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go and talk to some people. I'm going to get some answers for you, and we're going to talk about this tomorrow after school, or kind of give them a sense of when you will talk about it. But you're totally allowed to say, I don't have the answer to that, and I can hear you'd really like me to know more, but we'll work it out together.
Beautiful. I do that all the time with Bella. I say, I don't know. I'm going to ask Jen, and I'll get back. I'll get back to you, Jen. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Gina and Maddie.
I've been keeping a little list of funny things that kids in my school say. You know, I've had...
You mean the Gina Jeffries Academy of Music, which you can find on Instagram and enroll now.
Thank you.
Ding. Yep.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, I've been running for 16 years. So over that 16 years, there's been some pretty funny things. We always do this thing where we like to teach the kids to be kind and give compliments easily. And there's one little one who really struggled with that. And she saw me one day, fully made up for a concert. And she was really struggling to give me a compliment. She goes, oh, Gina, you look so beautiful, like a cat. She had to add the cat on at the end. Just yesterday, one little one said to one of my teachers, I reckon I sang that better than Benson Boone. That was better than the original. And my teacher goes, was it though? Then one time, one of them met one of my teacher's fiance. And she at a concert, he was backstage, and she looks him up and down, and she turns to Courtney in front of him and goes, oh, I said her name. Can we edit that out?
No. Yeah.
She goes.
Lucky we're not live. Morning, Court.
And the kid goes, oh, I reckon you could do better. She literally said that, and she wasn't wrong because they did split up.
Doesn't Court have new music?
She does have new music coming out. It's out right now called Broke. Court is amazing. Now, one was learning our concert rules one time, and for concert rules, we have to edit the songs. You've been to dance concerts with your kids.
Oh, I've been in them too, excuse me. Not just with my kids, I have performed on the boards, thank you very much, darling.
Everybody knows that. What you have to do, as when you're running the concert, if you have to edit the songs down quite short, otherwise the concert will go for 5.5 hours.
Well, that's it. You can't go out and do a routine to November Rain because it's like an 8-minute track.
No, that's right. So we edit everything down under 3 minutes, and one time this little kid was not impressed with that at all, or impressed because it's my rule, and she said to one of my teachers, want to meet Jesus?
Wow.
She was pretty angry. And my favourite, a concert a few years ago, we were getting ready to go on the stage and I sit the whole school down and I say, okay, kids, it's going to be quite different to when we were practising just at Erina at the hub. What happens is you're going to have speakers facing you, so you're going to hear yourself really loud in the microphones, and there's going to be like smoke, and because the smoke machine makes the lights look beautiful for photos and stuff.
Right.
So
It's not the parents vaping down the front.
No, it's
okay.
not. And it'll look beautiful, but just be ready. It's going to feel quite different to when we've been rehearsing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this one little 6-year-old puts her hand up. She goes, excuse me, Gina, will that smoke smell like my mummy's special smoke?
Amazing.
Listen to Gina and Maddie weekday mornings from 5:30.
Live on the Star Player.